Today we're in Belchertown, Massachusetts, exploring a cemetery. And this one's called the Rural Cemetery, made in 1769 as a family cemetery. Belchertown is filled with family cemeteries because it's the third largest size community in Massachusetts by geographic area. And so it's so spread out that a lot of families started up cemeteries. And they turned into a bit of a multi-family cemeteries. And this one's pretty nice. It's nicely kept. A lot of them are now owned by Belchertown itself. You're approximately at 87 Rural Street in Belchertown, very close to the Granby border. And these family cemeteries are spread out quite a bit. What we're going to do here is talk about it here, but I'm going to take the camera and walk through this cemetery for you. See if we can find some old ones back there. You see a lot of 1800 marble gravestones here, but we're at the 1700 ones. Probably in the back left maybe, but we'll go back there. And this one also at one point was called Coleman Dock Corner Cemetery. I wonder if the Coleman family is inside of here. But you should see a lot of families and a lot of different stones as we go back in there. Now it's pretty small. I would say only about 130 feet by 130 feet. Right? And maybe only a couple 100 known barrels inside of there. So if you want to visit it here, it's hard to find, so put your GPS on. And put in about 87 Rural Street, off of Rural Street, off of Boardman Street, off of Route 202. Okay, so it's time to go out there. Here's a nice slate gravestone. Abraham Weston, 1832. His wife Naomi, 1846. All right. And there's Asa Clark. And a lot of these are wearing out. Now you notice some are pointing to a different direction. All right. In a true fashion, the very old ones pre-1860 should be pointing with the headstone towards the west and the footstone towards the east. So the body would rise up and point towards the east. This is George Thapin, died 1760, age 67. All right, now George has a stone pointing in the right direction. His footstone should be pointing opposite that inscription, and it doesn't. All right, so someone moved around the footstone a bit. See the small footstone there, GT, and so that one was moved to a different position. But at least the headstone is in the right position. Now some of the stones might be correct, some of the stones might be incorrect. All right, and I'll give you a panoramic from the middle here of the cemetery. All right, in a square cemetery, there's going to be 4 equal sides. So I'll capture all of them going towards the front here. You can see a marble obelisk, Frank Clough, 1891, and family buried with him. Okay, and you can see the name of his headstone. Now we're going to be heading back into it. Get camera, get your compass going and tell me where west is. Okay, so 2 back corners still to go. 2 daughters of Mr. Jonathan and Olive Tucker. Right, 18 years old, and he died 1824. And there's a footstone behind it. Probably belongs to that headstone right there. Okay, so finally we made it into the back corner here. And there's some more marble stones. This is a very funny looking stone. Right, it's quite deformed. It was probably gorgeous when it was made, but erosion has caused it to deform. Okay, and a lot of these are 1800 back here. So, the old ones seem to have been in front, but we got one more corner to go. Okay, here's a brownstone. Finally, we find a brownstone with its footstone. So in memory of Mr. Ebenezer, shortened to Eben, Moody, who died April of 1790 in the 83rd year of his life, and his wife Gina. A nice brownstone. What a gorgeous little footstone down here. And the footstone is facing them. They should both be pointing away from each other. So someone moved both of them. Right, that one's very hard to read. That one's very hard to read. A lot of hard to read ones in the very old sections. This is a Moody, so this whole row here is Moody's, right? And this is an ancient row. Sadly, it's in such a place that they're so incredibly hard to read out. This is 1770, 89th year of their life, and it's Mrs. Judith, wife of Walter Fairfield. She died 1770. The righteous shall be had in the everlasting remembrance. All right. And she definitely had a footstone that's gone. All right, so a lot of cool old stones back here. And there's one right here, in memory of Mr. Samuel and Mrs. Deborah Ingalls, who died 1809. All right, and they both have the same gravestone. So there's an empty spot over here, probably a little popper's field in the back. All right, and so I'll tell you one last story. So these stones, this is Elijah, son of Captain Elijah. Okay, these stones should have the footstones, and so I'm going to show you one last time what they should look like. And this one is correct. You cannot even read it, but I can see that something is inscribed on it. But it faces towards the west, and see that it has a footstone back here, and the footstone is quite worn out. But the writing on it seems to be facing also in the west. So these are wrong in the sense they should the large ones should face inscription towards the west, the small ones should face inscription towards the east. This one faces to the west and there's no footstone. So a lot of good things are going on. Most of them point the right way for the headstone. The footstones, most of them don't exist, but when they do exist, seem to have been turned around. And then the closer you get to the road, the more likely is that the whole tablet headstone has been turned around to face to the east, to face to the road. And that was done a lot in the 1880s and 1890s. This one was turned around. So Naomi and Abraham Weston should be facing the other way towards the west. Okay, so I got a good sense of the cemetery. A lot of empty spaces. I don't know why. But it's a nice little cemetery. Thank you very much.